Welcome in. As another week of preseason moves forward, we actually move within a week of college football starting. And that means we're getting into the big times, the prime times, and all the stuff in between. Um, how's everyone feeling? We debuted on Rogers last week.
Yeah,
How's everyone feeling about that?
we literally have 25 straight weeks of football.
So you're feeling good.
I'm feeling couldn't say I don't know how my family's gonna feel about that.
Yeah.
But they had me for the last 5 months.
Boys got the big time sponsor
Yeah,
board going.
look at us. A slideshow going.
Yeah. All the good stuff is happening. All three of us are here. All three of us are healthy. We are enjoying a rec league lager from the locker room out there in St. Thomas. Um, really good. You know what? I will say. I was leery when I picked it up, but it said locker room, so I was like, whatever. Never had it before. Quite delicious. I think that's one of my
Is there anything better than the smell of a locker room? Like I know you and I played sports.
my beer smells better than most locker rooms I've been in, but yeah.
We have a gal. We like battle room, locker room smells like, and technically I don't want to
I
know.
played high school football. I just don't think that if I would crave the smell of a locker room.
It's nostalgic.
Not nostalgic. You didn't even know you were living in nostalgia when the time. Jeez.
Yeah,
I
man.
love it.
You walk in the change room, you're like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, 3.5-week-old boxers is what you're smelling there.
Well, I
Nostalgic.
washed mine.
Oh gosh.
I can't say the same for some of the guys I played with, probably, but
Yeah.
I was a pretty boy.
We
I
had
had my
people
hair
that
done on game day, man.
we had people that didn't even wash their
Yes, he
shirt.
had
To the
hair.
point of like it would start eating the shirt.
Yeah.
Nasty.
And the guys would go tarps off under their shoulder pads.
Uh,
That was a bold move.
Sean Martin did that.
Yeah. Disgusting pig.
I also didn't have abs though, so I know it's hard to believe that I did not have abs, but
Yeah.
when I couldn't really just tuck the jersey up and let the boys hang
You
out.
had hair and abs?
No, I said I had no abs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which he had to point that out because like at one point in his life, yeah, no, never.
Yeah.
Probably like I have 10 million or never did I have $10 million. Like,
Not that I do now.
basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, obviously preseason has kicked off. Uh, football gods looked down and smiled upon us about an hour and a half before we came on the show. And we're going to lead off with Jonathan Taylor here because he wanted out. The Colts owner said there is no way you're getting out. From there, fast forward 3 weeks, seems like he might be out. They have now given him permission to seek his own trade, which obviously the Colts have to agree to this trade. But the Dolphins have emerged like that.
I read it. They're going to look into it. It's just the fact that he's 24. He's an all pro. They certainly need a rusher. They were kicking the tires on Delvin Cook. I just, it certainly isn't a long term plan. I mean, you're there for a good time, not a long time. You got to know that,
That's a
AJT.
running back. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, I mean, you could you if you trade for him right now, and this will go for any team, like that trade comes with an extension, and that extension has to be at least 3 more years. So you have him this year, next year, and you have 3 more on top of that, and you're probably looking at giving him about 10.5 million a year because that's roughly more than most people are getting currently, but it's enough to entice him to stick around. And I mean, I don't know how much of that's guaranteed, but um, what like let's take the Dolphins off the table because like they've emerged as the front runner for every running back just because they have a good running game. Like where else could this guy end up? And what are the I don't know what the Colts are doing because you have a 24-year-old All Pro running back. You're starting your rookie quarterback week one. You'd think that's a guy you want on your side. I mean, I don't know a ton about the Colts depth chart, but I don't think that they got the bodies behind him to support a running game.
No, I mean this franchise is falling apart. I've absolutely enjoyed every last bit of it here. They only had their stroke of luck with Andrew Luck, and now he's gone, and now Jonathan Taylor is the only other good bright spot they've really had there in the last few years, and he wants out now too. They don't. You're right. They don't have anybody there. You got two. You got a franchise that's against the wall because they obviously are in a weaker division that at any given time, any one of those teams could win, and a running game could certainly help you win that. But then you've got a player who he's going to find out what his worth is out there.
Yeah.
Like Christian McCaffrey got 4 draft picks. Are they going to get 4 draft picks for JT? And then if you do, do you use that as ammo to the team who's saying for the re-signing for the extension because McCaffrey's making 16.5 million?
Right.
You said 10. Like, do you have to find the middle ground at 14?
This year McCaffrey's making 36.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous. But as far as a team to land on, and I don't know their depth chart situation right now, but they're just you don't when you're the Ursay, you don't want to send him to a team that's competitive right now. You don't want him to go and reap some reward anywhere. I
Yeah.
don't care what kind of draft pick compensation you get back first, right? So send him to a team where maybe he
But
doesn't.
that's the reason you don't want them to be good, right? Because you want the team that you send them to suck, so you get a better draft pick.
That's right, yeah. So like maybe we're thinking, or not we, but team that stuck out who has made zero real good moves this offseason and can certainly do something to help the fans, but Arizona. They're a team that could certainly need a running back there. I feel again, I don't know where they're running.
James Conner would be their starter right now.
And
That'd be tough.
he's getting money. He's getting paid for sure. But is
Give him the
JT
trade back and forth.
maybe is JT better than James Conner? I think so. I mean, he's certainly a three down back, a better explosive running back than
How's
what
his
you got with
back?
James Conner. Wow, that's it. It's his. He said it's not his back; it's his ankle. But then you watch him walk in training
It's just
camp.
like a James Harden situation where
Yeah.
like he gets traded and then everything's good.
I don't know. It depends. Again, if they send him to a team that is absolutely horrible, this could be a situation where he decides he doesn't even want to sign a contract extension with
Well,
that team, and then it gets ugly again, right?
I think this is more on Jim Irsay than it is on Jonathan Taylor. Jim Irsay needs to put his ego aside. And he made some pretty vocal comments that you can't take back now.
Yeah.
So he has to trade him. There's no way that guy's reporting to play for you.
I mean, he's on PUP right now, right?
Yeah.
Like
He's not in the pup. I just don't think he's on the.
I thought he was on PUP, but they're gonna let him.
Oh, you're right.
travel.
He hadn't come out. Yeah.
You have to take him off PUP to trade him.
I would think so.
Here's the thing about Jim Irsay, in my opinion, that I have in this guy. He got handed a franchise, and again struck gold when he got lucky enough to get Peyton Manning, and then struck gold again when he had Andrew Luck. If you look outside of those generational talent quarterback years, he can't put a franchise together or keep it together, right? He really can't do it.
Who can?
Well, I mean,
I
there's
mean, look around and like who wins Super Bowls without a franchise quarterback?
Oh, here we go. Is he? Well, I thought you were gonna. This was gonna be who continues to win through thick and thin, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They made the
Yeah.
playoffs. They made the playoffs. No Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's where I think Jim Irsay gets a lot of hype here for being a decent owner in some regard. But I think this is a team that right now I think they have the third or the fourth most cap room in the league. Why are you
Yeah.
being greedy here? This is your time.
Well, also like the way that people judge ownership now is not wins and losses. It's how big of a stadium did you get, and he got a pretty big one.
Yeah.
You know, what's your TV deal like? What's your endorsements like? Can you market your team? Are you selling out your building? Like, the Cowboys suck, and the Cowboys have sucked for a long time. This is maybe the first time in what do you think, 8 years that we haven't heard the hype train of like this is the Cowboys year.
Now it's the Eagles.
Yeah, right.
His dad's getting picked off by Diggs in training camp right now every other practice.
But that's the thing. Like, I mean, if the I wouldn't say that the Colts are the Cowboys in the AFC because they haven't had a successful enough franchise, but the exact same scenarios hold. They both have nice stadiums. They both have desirable places that you want to go. Outside of Anthony Richards and a few other like offensive guys, like name some defensive players on the Colts. Can't do it. They
Just a
suck.
freak.
I
About
mean,
it.
is he even
Yeah.
playing this year?
Yeah, food plan.
But yeah, I don't know. I would say so. If I was the Colts and I wanted to make a move, I'm looking for a young running back. So I would send him to Seattle, and I would take a second round pick, and I would take Kenneth Walker in return.
They're loving that Tilo kid they have there.
Yeah, the Charbonneau. Yeah,
Charbonneau, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, take one of them.
yeah.
We'll take a pick and call it a day.
Because one of those two guys is going to be a good running back, and right now, I mean, you have some money invested into Geno Smith. You got the receivers around. You know, is splitting carries between Charbonneau and Walker going to get you to the next level in the NFC? Maybe not. But is Jonathan Taylor a guy that like boosts your team up? Very possibly. I can see that. I can also see the Chicago Bears getting him.
I just can't believe it's going to the AFC.
Yeah.
That's the part that blows my mind. I'm not saying the culture playoff team, they're nowhere fucking near that. But if there's ever a chance I had to play my guy after it went down, then do it. I don't want to give them any more fuel if I play them. So where can I send him? I'm going to see him in an important game. The NFC.
Yeah. I think the NFC makes sense, and if you start looking up and down the NFC too, um, Carolina Panthers.
They
That may
paid Miles Sanders a bit, so that's going to be a little hiccup.
I think Miles Sanders is going to be a third down back for them. I don't even think he's going to like. I think
Ooh,
yeah,
I'm going to prove something to Shane specifically because he had some doubters when he signed over there in Carolina, obviously, right? And
I think it's going to be Chuba on first and second for the running downs, and it's going to be Miles Sanders catching it and being kind of like the scat back type of guy.
oh,
Yeah, his carries are going to be significantly down, and now that we're in fantasy football season and it's fantasy draft season,
Jake don't lie, man.
I would not take Miles Sanders as a
Yeah.
guy that I'm relying on for a running back in any fantasy league, even if it's like a 15 team league, 16 team like pass.
So I'm going to ask this question because we all play fantasy football. I have the first pick overall in a full point PPR. I'm not happy about it. It's like the last pick I want. I'm handcuffed. Do I go CMC or do I go Justin Jefferson? And hear my reasoning before you tell me your answer. What? You look like you're going to say something. You don't think that's either of them?
yeah, no.
I think you take Derrick
I
Henry.
think you take Derek. He ain't on the list, but he should be.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. This guy's going to get another 330 carries, Chad. Come on.
So anyway, so
PPR.
Shane,
It's
we'll
not
talk
points
to you.
per carry.
Yeah.
He had 35 receptions last year.
That's nothing anyway.
Yeah, anyway, so talk to the guy that actually knows what he's doing. Um, my issue isn't Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
It's the path of how Justin Jefferson has to get the ball. And this isn't a receiver. This isn't just this is literally it's a receiver thing.
Yeah.
If a quarterback goes down, I'm taking Lily, my number one pick overall. Like if CMC gets injured, it's him at least.
Yeah.
But if a quarterback gets injured, then my first pick overall is no good to me.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, the reason I say that is because Justin Jefferson is an absolute freak. I think he's the best wide receiver the NFL has probably seen in since I would say DeAndre Hopkins prime. I think he's the next best since then. But then you look at a player like DeAndre Hopkins as a perfect example where he had 7, 12 journeyman quarterbacks through
Yeah.
his career and made it work every single time. I think Jefferson is somebody you just throw the ball up and he's coming down with it. And not only is he going to come down with it, but he's going to run after the catch too. By far, he's the best route runner in the league. He mentioned that the other day. I know Adams is really viewed as the best one, but he rated himself as the best, and I still think I agree with him. He's the best route runner. He's better than Devontae.
Let me give you a guy that you didn't say. And this, if I had the first overall pick in a full point PPR, I would sign up for Austin Eckler in a heartbeat.
Ooh, another guy with something to prove.
Was not happy,
Yeah.
but I believe that he's feeling a little bit better. He was smiling on the sideline yesterday. Kellen Moore, who was under a lot of fire with the Cowboys, is going to be able to ignite something with the Chargers offense. And I saw a stat pop up yesterday. There's only two guys that have had more than 4 seasons consecutively, like start to like now, that have had over 4,000 yards and more than 25 touchdown passes. Right now, it was Peyton Manning on his first 10 years, and it's Justin Herbert in his first 4. So Justin Herbert just got paid. They're going to protect the hell out of him. Austin Eckler, I'm going to say that he has 75 catches this year. And even if all those catches are for, 2 yards, that's still 75, or, we'll call that, if you're talking about wins above replacement, because, we're baseball guys too. I'm going to say that's 40 points on catches more than another running back is going to get in the league.
CMC had 70 last year.
Yeah. And I'm going to say Eckler has 75, and I'm going to say he has 1,600 yards rushing, and he could get 1,000 yards receiving, but I don't think so. Maybe like 750 receiving.
He's known as like the strongest player in the NFL, pound for pound. It's always the comment everybody always says.
He's a
about him.
beast.
Yeah, he's an absolute. But you're right. He's got a chip on his shoulder. The Chargers also are coming into a year where after this year, everything falls apart. Like their cap casualties they're going to have in LA are going to be big and going to be drastic and deep. So this is a year they have to be as all in as they possibly can be. And that team, of course, obviously gets better with Herbert, but when Eckler is in the game and motivated and playing top tier, they're a different team on offense.
And that's what I'm saying. So that's where I would go. Like the McCaffrey thing, I get it. He finished strong last year. If he stays healthy, is he the best fantasy player in the last 10 years? Yes. But like there's a huge if, and like he hasn't stayed
I
healthy.
rolled him last year, and
Yeah.
like he got me to where I had to get to.
And if you had the second or third pick, like that's where like a receiver comes in. But I think because there's so few running backs out there that aren't splitting
So
carries.
I've done a couple mock drafts, and on my turnaround, because I don't pick till 24, 25. There's no receivers left.
Yeah,
There is Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs.
I would take Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, so to me, it's like, who can I, like a running back heavy, and then I can like just stack that lineup. It's like, Kelsey's gone, so tight end. I'm not taking anybody over him at that high. Like I was hoping I could get Garrett Wilson at the top of the third. He's gone. Every mock draft I've done, he's gone. Receiver wise, they're saying like T Higgins is what's my best option, and I
Yeah,
can't take T Higgins in the second round.
yeah. You're gonna have to dig in deep for some of these like younger guys that people
Yeah,
don't know about, right?
I was just gonna like, yeah, when you start running back heavy, that's okay to do that. I feel like in a PPR league, that comfortability kind of builds over the course of that weeks 3 to 7, and you can really pick up some flyers and free agency that kind of get you
yeah.
the
'Cause I have no
PPR
problem
numbers.
trading a running back to get two receivers.
The
Yeah,
problem with the running backs is the depth charts are pretty much set unless there's an injury. You don't. There's not really going to be somebody getting upset or unseated kind of thing,
you're
right?
gonna
But
want Georgie P.
what's the over under and how many pass interference calls he gets this year?
Uh, I'll say under 4.
Under 4 a
Yeah,
week
no,
or like the whole
the
season?
whole season and
Unreal.
12 touchdowns. So Ryan Clark, and I'm not saying that I subscribe to this, but Ryan Clark said this. So
Oh, because he
Holt,
said some
Holt,
doozies in his day.
he said
Hey, he's my
that
favorite safety of all time.
that George Pickens is the best receiving prospect in the last 15 years, and right now is better than Justin Jefferson. That's what he said.
Make
I'm not
sure.
saying I
Can you
said that.
follow that up with again saying that you don't subscribe to that? Because that's just crazy talk.
Yeah, hey, I'm a Jefferson guy. I actually have both of them on a team. So I have a dynasty league, and like Chad and I don't. Do we still split it? I don't know. We
I have no
we
idea.
haven't in 2 years, but like I've been managing the team anyway. But our receivers are Justin Jefferson,
Pay your bills, Chad.
George Pitt. No, I don't mean like that. I just mean like we used to manage it together. It's not. No, not like
That's it.
George
I
Pickens.
want to go $25. Honestly, don't even fucking worry about
Yeah,
it.
Jalen
$25.
Waddle, uh, Scary Terry. Just picked up Jonathan Mingo in the draft. Got Michi on the side. We got guys. We got depth. So all those guys are there. Oh yeah, if I had to pick a receiver for Kenny Pickett, I'm gonna pick George Pickens. But if I had to pick a receiver on the whole, the holistic side of it,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna go JJ, of course. It's not
smart,
crazy.
smart call.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's the fear if I go like receiver, I feel I can make up Justin Jefferson points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if I can make up top running back
I
points.
agree.
not until week 6 when everybody's injured and you start picking up flyers
That's the
then.
thing.
Yeah,
Like, there's maybe 5 running backs that aren't splitting carries, and like that's even dwindling down. Guys that I would have counted in that would be like Najee Harris, who's like a back end first round, front end second round kind of guy. He's gonna start splitting carries with Jalen Warren.
He certainly
I'm
didn't
telling
want
you
to.
that right now.
He didn't want to give any props to that boy after that game,
Why
did
would he?
he?
he's
Yeah.
selling himself here.
Yeah, he does not want anything to do with like obviously they want to win, and like at the end of the day, Harris is playing for a contract. He's heading into his 3rd year. At the end of this year, he can get paid. So he wants as many of the carries as he can get. They're
Like,
just not going to be there.
that's a Bama boy. Look at that backfield.
Mhm.
Those guys don't talk each other up. They're against each other every
Yeah,
single day in practice, man. It's probably the best thing that happened to Najee Harris really was getting him an actual threat.
this is like outside. So if you go McCaffrey, Eckler, Nick Chubb, like can you think? I guess Derrick
Derrick
Henry
Henry.
is a true like those are the only guys that pop into my mind immediately as true horsebacks.
Yeah. And Josh Jacobs, well, they're saying he's going to fall into the second round. It's like out. Oh, and Bijan, that's the other one. Everybody's going high on Bijan.
Yeah,
He had a great preseason game, but like it's still the Falcons.
Yeah, but it's like I talked to you guys about this. It's the exact offense that the head coach, who has a mustache now, wants to run. Like it just makes sense for what he's got there. He's Bijan is exactly Derrick Henry. It's the closest thing to Derrick Henry that's coming to the NFL since he's been a coach there
I
anyway.
feel like this is our fantasy football special, so we'll focus on
Yeah.
because I've been dialed into fantasy football because I did my draft yesterday for the rookie season. But before we go into anything else, and I don't want to like get off running back so quickly, but this year will be the deepest tight end class that you could
Ooh.
ever think of. the deepest. Like Darren Waller is now with the Giants,
Mhm.
opening the door for a guy that we picked in the first round yesterday, Mike Myers. So in the first round
Did you know
yesterday,
that you picked him in the first round?
Oh yeah,
of course,
we talk about
I've
this on the daily.
I've been doing. Chad and I used to just drink beers at the doghouse and like do the draft. I'd be like, I just took Justin Jefferson. He's like, what? It's like, yeah, it's the fourth round
How we get him?
of our
Oh,
rookie draft. Yeah, people just not many people watch college football, so you don't know what production is.
we had
But
Chase Claypool the year he blew up as a rookie,
yeah, yeah.
11 touchdowns. I'm like, Shane, just take him.
Ended up trading him for like some. We got Josh Allen in return for Chase Claypool in some way.
How do I join that league?
It's a pretty tough league to get into.
Sounds like it. It's just giving away money.
Yeah.
Well, everyone falls in love with their favorite players, right?
Yeah.
And I don't. I'm just like transactional. So yesterday I traded away Aaron Jones for Isaiah Pacheco, and I got a first round pick.
Wow.
And that first round pick became Mike Myers. So like, sorry, now we have to decide between Mike Myers, Pat Fryermuth, or Isaiah Likely to get in there. I mean, we're deep. It's dynasty. Those
And they're saying, what's his Firemill? I don't know what the hell's name is.
Fireman.
They're saying like 8 touchdowns kind of a year.
8-10, yeah. He's supposed to be like the next tight end that's making that step into like the Kelsey Kittle area.
Got one of the kings of horror that joined your team, Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, hey,
He's a great blocker. He's a phenomenal receiver though.
yeah. I think last year he had 130 receptions in college.
No,
And,
that's
like,
the last 2 years.
is that what it is?
Yeah, 60. But we don't even throw the ball at Notre Dame. If we threw the ball at Notre Dame, it went to Michael Myers.
This year we like they are going to throw it,
Yeah.
and I want to like Notre Dame is one of the teams playing Saturday. So before we sign off tonight, we'll talk about that. But yeah, other things for like fantasy relation. You know, if you guys have a tight end that I didn't think of, please chime in.
I
But
think Darren Waller's the one.
yeah,
What's that?
Chig. I'm big on Chig. I know he's a Titan, but I think
Stop it. You're big on Trigg. You're big on Henry. You're just going to tell me you're big on Tannehill. You just pick someone that doesn't play in your team.
no, but you. Okay, I'll let you leave. Who are you, Darren Waller? You were chasing him.
Yeah, and he's played 2 preseason games. In 3 drives, he has 9 targets. And he has 8 receptions.
uh
So it shows right away that's who's getting the ball there. And they want to feed him the ball early, especially after that shit that went down in Vegas.
yeah,
Like, guy gets married, his wife's there, and the next thing they trade him 2 days later. And also because Al Davis didn't get invited, or what's the, not Al Davis.
Mike Davis.
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis didn't get invited to the wedding. The guy's got something to prove.
Yeah,
And realistically, he's the best receiver there. And a great tight end is like a quarterback's best friend.
right. This year, like, wait for your tight end because it's coming to you. I'm willing to say that there's actually like 12 startable tight ends in the league, and I can't tell you the last time that there was actually like I think last year there was maybe like 6.
I remember with Evan Ingram last year, and he got me good points.
Yeah, and like even so,
Ugly number for a tight end though. 17.
yeah, but Ingram is a perfect example. Like he was somebody that we considered like a fantasy star. He had like 900 yards.
And the crazy part, he was only tight end number 8.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't like he was a top tight end. The guy had 60 catches, almost 1,000 yards, and he only had 6 to 8 touchdowns somewhere in there.
yeah,
Which before to be outside of Kelsey and Kittle, like that's top tight end numbers.
right.
Now he's at the bottom of the top 10. There's only 12 teams in most fantasy leagues.
I'll tell you, the new quarterback class got zero love during the rookie draft yesterday. So Anthony Richards slipped out of the first round. Bryce Young slipped out of the first round, and I got C.J. Stroud in the third round.
Wow.
Yeah, so I scooped that up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, I don't know how you can if you're because the way this thing works, it's not like a randomized thing. So if your team sucks, you have the first pick, and it's not a snake; it's linear. So I don't know how if your team sucks, you can continue to like skip on quarterback. And obviously, we're talking about fantasy football here, not real football, but and pick up, you know, who who was like a receiver that might have been like Jaden Reed. So I love him, Michigan State guy. He's probably like he's gonna be the third receiver for Green Bay. Like you can't pick up Jaden Reed and not pick up C.J. Stroud. That's fucking stupid.
Yep.
Like you're being an idiot.
Yep.
But that's if you're wondering how I get the people that I get in this draft.
That's
That's exactly how.
So hanging with a bunch of Michigan fans and Michigan State fans.
I know none of the people in this league. Actually, that's not true. I know one person.
You're the commissioner, right?
Yeah, I know one person in this league. Everyone else I've never met or talked to.
Just keep taking their money though.
I do what you gotta do. Yeah, we got some rings around here
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, right. But back to Bijan.
Yeah,
Like, they're saying he's the fourth or fifth running back off the board. In a lot of drafts, he's going 7 or 8. And I agree with you how they're going to use him. I'm just really it's not Lance at the end of the day.
that's what I mean. Like being a good running back on a shitty team doesn't usually work out. Like
Like, if there was a quarterback there, I'd be like, yo, take this guy top 3.
like start naming running backs that you would start on your fantasy team over Bijan Robinson and Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb,
Jack Henry.
Derrick Henry. Is there anybody else?
No.
That's it.
I don't think there's anybody else. Like maybe Dalvin Cook right now.
Even him,
Like,
I don't
Tony
see.
Pollard, maybe.
no.
Maybe like because he's got something to play for.
They're giving that Deuce Love kid all the love right now.
Deuce Vaughn, yeah.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn, yeah. Like, they're giving him everything. Like, he's in a lot of red zone looks. Like, he's going to be Darren Sproles.
Yeah,
They've already found the role for him that's perfect for him.
And here's the thing with those guys too. Everybody's all, can't wait till he gets his first NFL. Welcome to the NFL moment. Like, how many times do you see Sproles get lit up? Like, it just these guys have been small their whole life.
That's
They know how to get away. Like,
he capped at 5'5". He's probably in grade 10.
yeah.
Like, it hasn't changed for him.
He's developed that
Right.
sixth sense to get away from these huge hits. I don't think there's ever going to be a come to NFL moment for Deuce Vaughn. I just think that he's just that shifty player that can make things work.
I think it's like his Reggie Bush got his. And I think everybody just assumes now that those specialty style running backs are going to get theirs.
Well, and if you watch Deuce Vaughn, like he played in the Big 12, so not really great competition, but like he ran through people.
Yeah.
There's a shot at the Big 12.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel it?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You'll see it when you watch it next time,
Yeah.
like the replay. You'll see the reaction on my face.
Any chance that a quarterback's like a first round pick in your well, there's always a chance, I guess. Any quarterback you would pick in the first round right now heading into your fantasy
So
draft?
I guess mainly the scoring systems.
That
in the
matters.
league,
Six touchdowns.
6 points for a passing touchdown. I think a guy like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Justin Herbert could slip it.
Who's a guy that was not a fantasy starting quarterback last year that'll be one this year?
Trevor Lawrence.
You don't think he was a starter last year?
No.
Okay. What about you?
I don't even know.
I think Trevor Lawrence is a bubble guy.
I
He's
can't.
matchup based.
I can't even think of a quarterback that like in that scenario right now.
I mean, unless you're in the league with me, like no other scumbag is going to take a second quarterback quick. But I do. I always do. I like to have two good ones.
The 1 year I had Aaron Rodgers MVP, and the year that Tom Brady threw 48 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I had both of them.
So,
I remember a team meeting. I forget a guy who wasn't on league. I was like, starting quarterback got injured.
pick your starting 12 quarterbacks. I mean, you got Josh Allen, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Jalen Hurts, you got probably Aaron Rodgers,
Herbert.
Justin Herbert,
Joe Burrow.
Trevor Lawrence, right? I'm gonna
Trevor
count, I'm gonna,
Lawrence.
I'm gonna count Trevor Lawrence.
Lamar Jackson.
I'm gonna say Russell Wilson is probably still a starter.
Dak. And probably Daniel Jones.
That's 11.
And I know I've like been hard on Daniel Jones, but I think he's finally got the pieces there, and he runs the ball.
Well, he's his best friend that's end you talked about.
That's 11. So I mean, there's one more spot that could be eaten up, and just kind of scan through the league. Like, I'm trying to think, Derek Carr is that guy. Like, I don't know if he was a starter last year. It obviously depends on the league you're in, but
Well, I think the big thing too is like outside of that top 6 or 7, it's rotational,
Is this
especially in a 4-point quarterback league.
yeah.
Is this the year that just because you mentioned Derek Carr on the Saints, do they finally lose their lore this year? Like they were kind of like the Colts were when the Colts were good. They kind of carried a few years of expecting to be good. Is this the year they finally fall off? Because I look at the team and I just don't. I'm not excited about anything there.
Problem is they play a shit division.
I think they're gonna have 10 wins and make the playoffs.
Yeah, but I'm not excited about anything that's on that team at all.
Well, like they lived with Drew Brees for so long. Like that was 40 touchdowns every year. Like Mike Thomas hasn't been healthy since Drew Brees played.
Yeah.
And now you have Mike Thomas,
Chris Olave.
If Mike Thomas is 60% of Mike Thomas, that's a great number 2 receiver. Like at one point, he was the best receiver in fantasy football.
Jimmy Graham's back.
Oh, is he
We
not?
don't know yet.
He's supposed to be back.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
They have Jawan Johnson. He had a great season last year.
Juwan Johnson and Adam Troutman will be back from injury. Just I don't know. I think that the Saints have something.
And their defense is good.
They're not going to be like they're not going to win the Super Bowl, but they're more than likely they're going to win the South. Like it's
My
you don't think so?
bold financial solutions bold prediction was that Tampa Bay and all three of our teams win their divisions this year.
I thought you just said make the playoffs.
By winning, well, my team's only getting by making the playoffs, winning their division. So
Oh, so you're expecting them to pull like a
8-9, like we're going 8-9 and getting in. Like that's the only way Tampa Bay makes the playoffs.
Baker.
I'm not happy. Like so, my situation with Baker is this: I want to go with Kyle Trask because I want to suck.
Kyle Trask played well.
I think if we go with Baker, because he has nothing to like, he has everything to lose. I shouldn't say that. If he shits the bed, his career's over. We all know that. It's a 1-year deal.
Yep.
For fucking $2 million. Great value, by the way.
So
If
they
that
can
guy-
afford. They're still paying Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's getting Bobby Bonilla money.
If Baker Mayfield with a running game and a decent offensive line, I know you're waiting just to fucking take a massive shit on him, but hear me out. Like look at your face. You're like, I have a big poo. I'm gonna drop on chat in a second.
Hold it in.
Yeah, pinch that thing. He could win 7 games. Could win 8. I'm not saying they're like he's not an 11 or 12 win quarterback. Like you're fucking pulling out Twitter right now.
No. I wanted to confirm something here just before I start talking out of my rear end.
I
like this
did,
guy over
and
here.
I remember
No, I'm just kidding.
saying to your face, I said I would take Baker over Daniel Jones any day of the week. I've always it. I think Baker is in a position where he knows he has to win. We could get the best Baker Mayfield we've ever seen. He could shit the bed, to be honest. But like the problem is Kyle Trask, I know we're winning 3 games. And we're gonna fucking top pick.
Yeah.
That's the part that bothers me. We're gonna win like 6 or 7 games, and then we're gonna lose the top quarterback.
The thing is,
That's
like,
the part that pisses me off.
like that might be the thing that pisses you off today, but in week 7 next year, when you see how bad Caleb Williams is going to be in the NFL, you're gonna be like,
I want Drake Mayo.
okay, that's what I would want too.
I want Drake. Like I don't want the first pick overall because it has to be Caleb Williams.
So you just need to be in the top 3 because it seems like it's going to go.
That's me. I think Kyle Trask could get his top 3
It's going to
because
be
that defense
Williams,
is really good.
and then everyone's all excited about Marvin Harrison Jr., which I think is. I told you guys I don't think he's going to get a top 10 pick, but Drake Mayo is the real deal. Like that guy is legit. Have you seen him? Yeah, he's legit, and he's got bloodlines. His brothers played college basketball for North Carolina, won natties. The guy's real.
In Memphis, right?
It's the real deal.
Yeah, I want Drake Mayo. I want a top 3 pick. I think Kyle Trask gets us there. I think Baker takes us out of that contention, and that's the part that upsets me. I'm not saying he's gonna win. I hope he doesn't win fucking 10 games because I'm fuck. They're probably gonna re-sign him. I'm gonna be pissed.
You know what? I was last year at this time. I was reserving everything, and I was trying to put all my faith into Mitchell Trubisky. And
I remember.
And then
We were all there for that party.
and then it was tough. And then I started talking to some of my friends that are like Lions fans and Titans fans and stuff to see like what is it like to lose all the time and like how do you deal with it? Like is Sundays even fun for you? But I'm proud to say that we're past that already. Yeah. Kenny Pickett.
Now, listen. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a recent survey that was done about the most stressful teams to follow in the NFL, and the number 2 team was the Tennessee Titans. So
Want to know why? Because we had this conversation here. We weren't even on our show yet. I don't think we were talking about like at
Denver
the
was
time.
number 1, by the way.
I was like, I might have to stop being a Tampa Bay fan, and because I thought they could just re-sign Jameis, and I was like, yo,
Chad draws the
I
line.
draw the line at rape. I said I wouldn't cheer for them. Allegedly, I guess. She said I wouldn't cheer for them, but they re-signed them.
Okay.
It's good that you have standards.
Yeah.
I appreciate that about you.
So I said like I couldn't find a team to cheer for, and I was like, but you can't take a really good team when you're just a bandwagon fan. I don't want to take it shitty and I just like Tampa Bay's already sucked for the last 20 years. I go in and cheer for, and I was like, I might be a Tennessee fan because you know why? They're an 8-8 team every year. Did we not have this conversation?
Since Jeff Fisher's been around. Mike Vrabel has had like 5. I guess that
Yeah,
was
but this
before
was-
though.
this
It's
was
a long
3
time
years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know my exact words.
Yeah.
I said they're a team that's a 9-7 and 8-8 team every single year. Just like you got a little bit of hope. You're not the worst team. You're not going to lose every week.
We
So,
don't completely suck.
Six of those 8 are always by a single possession score.
exactly.
Final
So you always
minutes.
have a false hope that you're going to win a game. Like that's
Oh,
we had
man.
this conversation on the show.
I just, yeah, I mean, I took us down a rabbit hole there, but I just wanted to talk about how impressed I was with the Steelers. So
I know that you have knocked on the team, and then you just picked the Saints to win the division. I think just based off schedule and strictly defensive ability, that Carolina is going to make some noise in that or that division, and in a weak conference can certainly do something. They play Houston this year.
yeah,
They play Seattle, which I mean, like, is not. Seattle did a lot last year, a lot better than I thought they were going to do, but I still have no confidence in Seattle at all.
well, Seattle's an automatic second place in their division, right? Like,
It's just here's the thing: the best news that's come out of Seattle since during training camp is how cute Pete Carroll can throw the ball.
yeah,
Like that's really all
Yo, if
that's
I'm
come out of.
slinging like that at 70 years old though, like I'm doing all right.
you don't think there's a way that Seattle beats the 49ers in the division?
No, no, not at all.
So you guys are all in on Brock Purdy.
It's
Like
not.
you,
It's not even about Brock Purdy. It's
It's the
about everything that's
49ers.
around him. That defense. Just talking about about the Carolina defense, strictly on defensive ability. That team can field any single offense in the NFL and probably turn successful.
man, I liked Brock Purdy in college, and I thought that he had a cute story last year. His elbow is fucked, and they're backing him
Like
this year. Like they have to.
But what do they do with that elbow being fucked? Like, what do they do in a sense of like how does that affect their offense? They do screenplays and cute little handoffs to Debo end arounds, and they do quick out slants to Kittle who gets rack yardage. Like there's nothing. He's not throwing the ball far. He doesn't have to gun it over the middle. Like even Ayuk just slants across the middle. It seems to be like 8 yards. Get the ball to receiver and let them do something for you, kind of thing, right?
For me, I would just blitz the shit out of him. Like make him make decisions. I get it. This isn't his first game.
But then you blitz them. That's where Christian McCaffrey's going to slip out. And then you want to play catch up to that guy after he's got the ball in his hands.
He's only going to play the first 2 weeks of the year anyway. What difference does it
You
make?
shut your hooker mouth.
Yeah. I'm not saying the 49ers are going to be bad by any means, but there's a lot of faith being put into a guy that really wasn't highly sought after and got put into a situation where, you can compare him to Baker Mayfield if you want to. Like, obviously, they're drafted in different spots, but you just went out there and played because you didn't have to think about it. Now he has to think about what he's doing.
The
Is
big
he going
thing
to be able
is
to do it?
now there's film on him.
That's right. Exactly.
And every quarterback has a hard year two, except for Patrick Mahomes. But
Because he didn't play year one, right?
but there's always a drop off, and it's one of those things where like, once again that division's shit.
Is it fair to say that the weapons around Brock Purdy right now are as strong as the weapons that were around Patrick Mahomes in year two?
I'm going to
I'm
say
not,
they're
I'm not
better.
trying to say Purdy is Mahomes' ability.
No,
but
no,
they're
no.
better.
I understand. They're way better.
Yeah, and when as far as like leaning on Purdy, they don't even have to do that anymore. Like last year, they maybe had a couple of games where they did had to lean on him and make a story out of that kid, but like they just
The
don't.
thing is, like, he doesn't make mistakes, and if he does not make mistakes, he's going to win the game. I think he threw like 2 interceptions in his 8 games last year that he played, and they ran the table with him, and it's because he just didn't make mistakes. Is he a sexy quarterback pick? No, but is he good enough for that team, that division, and that conference? Yeah. Who's he playing against?
Geno Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not bought on the Geno train, man. This is again a situation I knocked on Russell Wilson for it. I think that he's a product of throw the ball up and let your amazing receivers over there in Seattle come
And they
down
only got better with that
aggressively.
receiver.
What's that? And they got better, yeah. So where I'm not knocking Brock Purdy because he's surrounded by talent. I have to do the same thing for Geno, but I also think that like if we're going to call Brock Purdy not the most talented player, I'm not sold on Geno being that franchise quarterback either.
Jalen Hurts is the only like real star at quarterback.
Oh, it's talking about not being bought in. I'm
Yeah.
not bought in on that one either. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, you can't give up on Dak yet, and I agree with what you're saying. Like the AFC is loaded with quarterbacks. The NFC, the best young quarterback that they have right now, outside of Jalen Hurts, would be Bryce Young, I guess. And he hasn't even taken a snap yet.
there's another Bama boy like out there doing their thing. Like
I actually don't think Bryce Young's gonna be that great in the
Kirk
NFL.
Cousins probably in
yeah,
a
Yeah, okay, yeah. Everyone forgets about Kirk Cousins. Like I love Kirk Cousins, but
they're chains.
Yeah, the guy. All he does is win until it's Monday Night Football.
And Justin Fields, I think he's gonna have a
Oh,
coming
yeah.
out party this year too, right? Like I don't know who it was the other day, but said that um, there was the comparison to like the Vic of old and Justin Fields now, and he said
Mm.
that their arm talent isn't even the same. He's got better arm talent than Vic.
Michael Vick came out and said that.
Was it Vic?
Well,
Yeah,
Vic came
yeah,
out and
yeah.
said it's not fair to put Justin Fields in me because Justin Fields is like
Is it
light years
like
ahead of me where I
me?
was.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is like the custom quarterback that you make off of Madden. Like
Well,
he's 6'5", 250, built to shit. His arm just like chucks it down the field. Like him and Josh Allen's progression was obviously further than his, but they're built very similarly, and I think that they're going to make similar plays. But Justin Fields will outrun you, where Josh Allen probably has to run over you.
yeah. And there's, I totally believe that Zay Jones is going to turn into exactly what Diggs did for Allen for sure.
Yeah,
Be that receiver.
I don't know. I think the Bears have a decent shot. I would say that's a quarterback if we were looking for our 12th quarterback to fill in. Maybe Justin Fields is the guy we were forgetting. Should be a starting quarterback that'll start more than 10 games this year on call it 85% of people's fantasy rosters.
Yeah. Even after Jordan Love's nice little preseason game, right?
Yeah.
I can't be bottom Jordan Love. I can't do it.
I did. Yeah, I'm in on him. I gave a fourth round pick for him to come onto the
Like,
roster.
there's
Sure.
two teams that like really piss me off, and like one of them is your team,
Yeah, of course.
and the other one's Green Bay.
Yeah,
Those
it's
fans
They,
suck, eh?
no,
Is
it's a
that part of the
no,
reason?
it's
they
called the
don't.
history of victory.
They don't know what it's like to suck, and it really pisses me off. Like this guy's never. He hasn't a losing season in at least 17 years.
The last time we had a losing season that I can remember, we drafted Ben Roethlisberger, and then
Yeah, that did some things.
So
then
you're a
shit
Mets
took off.
fan in baseball because they lose all the time, and a Steelers fan in football because they win all the time.
I'm a Mets fan.
Balance it out.
I'm a Mets fan because I like the story of the '86 Mets. Um, I'm a Blue Jays fan because I like the idea that they won 2 World Series when
You
we
were
were
6 and
kids,
7.
right? And we get to watch all their games. But I'm a Penguins fan because Super Mario was the shit when we were growing up, and those jerseys were legit.
Oh, God.
Bright gold. I got that thing over on the wall right now.
But yeah, no, like I think that's kind of where quarterback for it goes, right? Like this is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, overall, I mean, that's the fantasy season kind of locked in. If you have a defense, we're not going to talk about that. If you start kickers, no one gives a shit. Um, Tight end is a position to wait on for sure. Get your running backs early. If not any other year you believed in that, like this is the year, believe in that 100%. But college football is back on Saturday, and there's no way that we can not at least touch on a little bit of college football because Notre Dame's playing Navy in Dublin at 2 o'clock on Saturday.
And I think that Chad had a sneaky good pick to maybe take to win the was it the conference you sent me the other day? The Longhorns to win the conference?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, plus 300.
Yeah, plus 300 for the Longhorns win the Big 12 this year.
Mm.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
I said if you're a bet man, like that's a
I might have to
like,
hop on that.
I make fun of Tex for time because Kalen's here. That's just an asshole.
yeah.
But like that's a
Yeah,
legit bet.
Yeah, I got no problem with that bet. I mean,
Make a few pesos.
I could also flush my money down the toilet and it would have the same result, but
Oh my god!
So can I just tell you the last time Notre Dame played Navy in Dublin in Ireland, I woke up at like 6 a.m. to watch this game.
this one's at 2 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
so you're good.
It's just like every 4 years they do this.
Well, Tyler Eifert was the tight end.
So
Wow,
it was a
long time.
while ago.
But they
So-
used to do it more routinely before, didn't they?
That's how much, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's check.
Pre-COVID, maybe.
Anyways, I've never. I think it might have been Chris Collins, right? Is he like? So here's the guy. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think you could literally dunk on a poor kid so bad as what he did to this Navy corner. They're in the red zone, and Notre Dame throws a jump ball. Tyler Eifert catches it 2 feet down. Everything's great. Chris Collinsworth. So here's a guy. He's going to be a first round pick in the NFL draft next year, going up 1-on-1. Sorry, here's a guy who's 6'5". He's going to be a first pick in the NFL draft next year, going against a 5'8" corner who's probably going to be mopping a deck next year. I was like, wow, like you just dunked on kids that literally go to the military right when they're done school and did not chase the NFL dream. I was like, I don't think that that's okay. hilarious,
Yeah.
but
Unreal. What were you trying to like spit out when he was talking?
Oh, just I don't. When I went and did my little tour, the reason why I thought that they did it more often is because when I had done my when I went down Notre Dame did a tour and everything on the campus, they have a very competitive flag football dorm kind of like frat league, and I
Yeah, sure.
guess the championship game is always kind of like scouted by a few of the Notre Dame coaches and scouting staff, and
Rudy.
yeah, one of those situations. And there was somebody who had got a walk on scholarship offer to go with Notre Dame, and they had talked about how it was like weeks before going to Ireland, and like this guy goes there as just a regular student, and then a few weeks later he's suddenly playing for Notre Dame football, going to Ireland, and kind of thing. So
I am in no form or fashion, any way, a supporter of Notre Dame football or Notre Dame anything. But Chad is in for a good year because if they don't, like Sam Hartman is his whole career is dead.
yeah,
Like this guy was legitimate at Wake Forest when they just ran like bullshit offense. Notre Dame runs real pro style offense. Even if they're spread out a little bit, it's still kind of like the new pro style offense. And if this guy is half as good as he was for Wake Forest, he's going to be a Heisman candidate. And Notre Dame's likely going to be a playoff team. But yeah, that's real.
that hurt for you to say, did it?
I would rather Notre Dame make the playoffs than Michigan. I mean,
Says a lot.
Michigan embarrassed themselves last year, but
so is
yeah,
Notre Dame every year, unfortunately.
yeah.
So
So I think Notre
Didn't
Dame
even have a coach for how many games this year?
only
like
three.
Yeah, oh, is that what it is? Okay, I thought it was going to be undetermined
self-imposed,
still.
self-imposed.
Okay.
So I think Notre Dame makes the playoffs this year. Not like we need to make these predictions now, but it's going to.
This is like calling the playoffs in
Yeah,
June baseball, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but I've been good at that. Alabama does not.
What?
Alabama is not a playoff team this year. So
Georgia.
we're going Georgia.
You like that backup quarterback taking over, do you? It's already been announced. He's
Man, you
starting,
know
right?
what? They have such a good roster. I don't think it matters.
Really? Because I
Yeah,
thought like this past draft really kind of decimated them on their offense.
yeah. You know what? Like I think that they recruit so well, and they're a juggernaut. They did lose like 15 guys to the NFL this year,
Yeah.
but they're gonna be next man up. So we got Georgia. We're definitely. I mean, I'm gonna put in Notre Dame. I'm gonna say USC gets there this year because this is the Caleb Williams year. And then I think it's gonna be an ACC team or Ohio State. I don't know what to think about this Ohio State quarterback. I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but the fourth spot I'm going to say is either North Carolina, Clemson, Florida State, like one of those, or Ohio State. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I know it doesn't like change how you feel about them. If Nick Saban does not win a national championship this year, this will be the first time since he's been at Alabama someone didn't win a national championship in their tenure there.
Wow,
They've won seven in X amount of years, and he's never lost two back to backs.
wow,
He's never been 3 years with a national championship since being at Alabama. And they're saying now if this could be the first time ever a graduating class doesn't win one,
wow.
which is a wild stat.
Well, there was that wild. So Tom Izzo, for like the first 17 years of his career, took his graduating class to the Final Four at least once every
Yeah.
year, and that has recently subsided. But that would be a crazy thing to fall. I don't know, and maybe it's the same thing that Kalen's saying about Georgia. I don't know a lot about the Alabama roster. I don't know a whole lot about this guy that they got playing quarterback for him outside of like he played for you guys. I mean, I don't know. I don't believe that Alabama's going to suck, but they're probably going to lose 3 games. That's going to disqualify you from the playoffs, right? You're going to lose to Georgia. You're likely going to lose to Tennessee because Tennessee's got a little juice right now, even though Joe Milton's their quarterback. But do you guys have any like outsider teams that could be playoff teams? And then we'll get out of here in a sec.
Ryan wants to know where OU's finishing.
8-4.
I
Yeah,
think
I'll say 8-4 because I don't know what their schedule's like.
Barely out of their conference.
Yeah, I just don't know how they're gonna like match up against you. Like TCU's coming back, obviously.
you want to ask Kaz if they're practicing on Wednesday, the 30th at 10 a.m. Also?
Obviously Texas is there. I think there's two losses right there, and they've been known the last couple of years to shit the bed a couple times.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, I understand I'm nuts because I'm not cheering on your team. But
Man, they don't really have a tough schedule. Man, so listen, they got
Yeah, read it out. Let's go win loss here.
so they've got, I don't even know who that team is.
This is Oklahoma, right?
Arkansas State, yeah, Arkansas State. They open with, and they go SMU, then Tulsa,
That's 3-0.
then Cincinnati,
That's 4-0.
then Iowa State,
That's 5-0.
Texas,
That's
5
5 and 1.
bye, and then UCF.
I'm gonna say that's
should be 6-1 or
Yeah.
7-1.
Then the
7-1.
the Kansas Jayhawks,
8,
then Ohio State, or no, Oklahoma State, sorry,
8-2,
West Virginia,
9-3.
Yale, TTU.
So you win 9-3.
Yeah, I mean 9 or 10. I actually had them at 10. I thought 10-2 made sense off of that. That probably puts them in the Big 12 championship. So I don't know. We'll see.
Texas, it got Alabama, Baylor, Oklahoma, and that's pretty much it. And TCU,
Realistically, the first game between Texas and OU will determine how that plays out.
which is like 5 weeks in, so the both teams will be nice and warmed up. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, outside of that, there's always one team that pops up out of nowhere. This year's team seems to be Florida State. We'll see how that plays out.
Florida State or North Carolina is what everybody's saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, North Carolina's the easy one to pick because they have what you would expect to be the first or second quarterback pick. The first quarterback that I would pick is Drake Mayo for sure.
So with AR leaving Florida, did they just fall back into being useless in the SEC again, or are they going to be a team that can kind of build on whatever hype they thought they had down there in
They
Gainesville?
went 7-5 with him though. So
I was gonna say that's what I mean. I don't
yeah.
know, man.
Like the SEC is so stacked. You're bringing more teams in.
But what's crazy is at 7-5, that team had more national coverage, I think, than they deserve, mainly because of how the AR was playing, of course, right?
Yeah.
But I just didn't know if they would be able to kind of start snowballing that a little bit and catch, because Florida State has made a lot of noise recruiting wise.
Yeah.
They've certainly pushed the envelope and their talent level there. They're only getting better. So
They've done well in the transfer portal. That's where Florida State is kind of like elevating themselves.
Well, like even like with Florida, 7-5, and like Anthony Richardson threw he didn't have a great year last year. He just had the hype train behind him. But, like,
Kelly
Florida
saying that
always has a
Kansas
defense.
State versus Oklahoma for Big 12 championship game.
Kansas State, eh? Are they even like they lost everybody in the draft? That mattered too. They're like it's another team that you know what if I didn't think they lost probably think 8 starters.
I'm pretty sure Adrian Martinez is back as the quarterback.
Isn't he like 52?
Yeah, but there's all these different rules within college football that you can play like 10 seasons. Like
He's literally Van Wilder.
He's Stetson Bennett, but for this year.
Maybe not. Stenson Bennett is down in the NFL when Sonny Michelle retired, and they played on the same team
in college.
Yeah,
yeah. That's. I mean, the guy's 26 years old. I do think that he's gonna get significant snaps in the NFL. Maybe it's not this year. I would expect a little bit of a bounce back from Matt Stafford, but this is gonna be like the Matt Stafford that people feel bad for that plays for the Lions. That like plays well, but his team doesn't pick him up. They got a few good pieces left in LA, and that's about it. But yeah, college football's back on Saturday.
25 straight weekends of football. Can we just say that for a second?
And
how great does that sound?
Yeah, then we don't have to worry about anything. I mean, Saturdays and Sundays are going to be full. Now that the college football schedule is like figured its shit out, you're going to have Friday games. We got Thursday night football. We got Monday night football. Basically, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are for you and the wife, unless you like MAC football, and then you watch that because they play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So you could literally watch college and
watch Hawaii play then, right?
Yeah.
Are they still in the MAC?
I don't know, but like 2 a.m. catching the 10 p.m. game.
So
I remember staying up and Colt Brennan played for them to watch his game specifically. Yeah.
That guy could sling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he the MAC is more like the Ohio League, but it's like Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio, yeah. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big guy.
Yeah. I've heard of him.
Yeah. Next time we see you, we will have week 0 of college football under our belts. We'll have the final preseason under your belts. If there's any significant injuries, we'll update you for your fantasy teams.
Likely some trades at that point because
Yeah.
there hasn't been a single
Trains and
trade.
cuts are going to be coming down the pipe here too.
Well, it hasn't been a single trade in the NFL yet, so they've definitely got to do it in that week of cuts to finalize their team, right?
Yeah, no, with lots to look forward to. Thursday, if you're in London, head over to Channel 13 on Rogers. Check that out. We will post a link, even though it's really hard to post links nowadays because they think it's news and we're not
Yeah,
news.
we are the furthest thing from news.
But yeah, we got blocked the last time I tried to post this, so we'll try and figure out something creative to figure that out. Head over to our website and check out our sponsors because without them, the show wouldn't be possible. And we will see everybody next week. And cheers to Locker Room.